going on, guys? How are your meatballs? Today I'm going to be talking to you about Firebase / the Vietnam Zombies map, as well as a potential buried remake coming to Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War Zombies as early as DLC 1 / Season 2 for Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Now, we have a lot of stuff to talk about, and I do want to say that I'm not on a script, so this may be a little bit more long-winded, but I can promise you the video will definitely be very, very informative. And also, before we get into the video, I do want to just say thank you so much for absolutely killing it. Like, I legitimately mean killing it here on YouTube. You guys doubled every single number I've ever had on a launch of a map or game on YouTube. Meaning this DLC, or sorry, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War has been the best launch for me by far. It's not even close of any Zombies map or game release, so thank you so much for that. I also provided what I promised you guys, the absolute most elite guides on YouTube, and you guys definitely showed an immense amount of support, so I thank you so much for that. As well as thank you for absolutely killing it on the Twitch streams. Once again, twitch.tv/Jomet123. Links down below in the description. We stream zombies every single day to the most elite community on the Twitches, the Meatball Army, baby. Hopefully everyone's meatballs are phenomenal tonight. Let's get into the video, talking to you guys about Firebase / the Buried Remake. And I also do want to clarify that these are two separate things that I'm going to be talking about, but yeah. So basically, let's start off by saying this. There was intel leaked for Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War Zombies from the PC files, and apparently some of this intel is actually from Onslaught. And for those of you who don't know, Onslaught is basically just an on-off switch in the actual game files for Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. As such, people were able to actually glitch out Onslaught and join PS4 lobbies as people are loading into a game and play it on Xbox One and PC, meaning there was no extra download, there was no extra requirements to play Onslaught. It was just basically an on-off switch in the files of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War to allow people to play Onslaught. That's how people jumped in, and that's important to note because that's how people got access to the Onslaught files on PC and how they pulled out the stuff that I'm going to talk to you about. So one of the pieces of intel, of course there's intel spread around Zombies maps and Onslaught. One of the pieces of intel in Onslaught was actually pulled from the files, and it's something we have never seen before. And according to Nanicos, shout out to him, he posted it over on Reddit. According to him, this is going to be content released in Season 1 that we don't yet have available to us right now. So he pulled this directly from the PC files. I believe one of them, or maybe even both of them, are from Onslaught, but it doesn't really matter where it comes from. The content of it actually matters. So let's start off by saying, we're not going to actually read it to you just yet. Let's start off by saying this. The buried reference in here most likely is not referencing buried. And the reason why I say that is because the map Satellite in Call of Duty Black Ops 4 Zombies, or sorry, in Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War multiplayer, I don't know where I got BO4 Zombies from, but in MP of Cold War, there's a map Satellite that is the same exact location as buried. And there's a quote-unquote dimensional breach discussed in the intel, so that's very interesting that we have rumors all the way back. I made videos on it back last year about how Zombies Chronicles 2 was actually canceled in Black Ops 4 because of the lack of success of the game, and it's going to be coming most likely to the next game, Cold War, and some of us even expected it to potentially be on disc because the maps were already done, but that wasn't the case. Obviously, as time went on, we realized that wasn't going to be the case, and we talked about that in separate videos, but the point is that the maps are still done, and they're ready to be released, or at least they were ready to be released for Black Ops 4 Zombies, and we're assuming now that they're still going to be coming to Cold War Zombies. That was also leaked from a few different people around the community. That's a current rumor, we'll say still. And the point is, they shouldn't have to do too much work to update the game or to update the maps to bring them to Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Obviously, it's going to be work. It's not just going to be a drag and drop, but it should not be as much work as creating an entirely brand new Zombies experience, even to the extent of Nocturne and Toten being made into Die Maschine, because the maps are actually already done for BL4. I'm sure it's going to be, it's going to be a little bit of work, but not too much. That's my point. So most likely those maps will be coming to Call of Duty Black Ops 4. They were, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. They were canceled in Black Ops 4 because of the lack of success of the game. That's all you got to know about Zombies Chronicles 2. And yeah, I just want you to know that although we're going to talk about the direct location of Buried, this may not directly be referencing Buried itself. So we're going to get into more specifics in a second. Actually, you know what? Let's just jump into Buried first since I discussed it. So this is what one of the files reads. Memorandum for Office of Requiem, Directorate of Science. By the way, I can't show this to you because this is leaked and in DATAMINED stuff, and Treyarch does not like when you show that stuff, especially when it's unreleased. So let's go over it now. Anyways, Directive of Science and Technology. This is on October 10th, 1984. Subject Angola Beach. Okay, that is the location of Buried, Angola, South Africa. However, remember that is also the location of Satellite in the MP of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, and also remember that the Onslaught game mode exists, in which people can play on the MP maps, including Satellite, and they have zombies on them. And I'm going to read a few comments from Chronicles as well after we read this. But anyways, subject, Angola breach, my bad. 1. Dimensional breach identified and confirmed in Angola, South Africa. Exact site of breach identified as, and this is blanked out, the location of a down KH-9 recon satellite. Oh, right there. Interesting, right? Area has been locked down and quarantined. Recommend Office of Requiem send in a satellite strike team to assess the situation. Sorry, I'm reading it like I'm in second grade because it's a little bit hard to read. It's low quality, but anyways, there you go. They identified a breach in Angola, South Africa. There's a satellite down on the site, which automatically just sounds like the satellite map, right? And they recommend Office of Requiem send in a strike team to assess the situation. Basically, they want to send people in to just take a look at what's going on. This is really low quality. Let me try to zoom in again. Okay, so 2. At the time of the breach, locals from nearby town had been witnessed scavenging materials at the site. One of the scavengers, a local adolescent named Amit, had successfully recovered Photent, P-H-O-T-I-N-T, Photent, all capitalized, from Satellite. After I located the boy, I was able to provide him with monetary incentive, he was basically bribing him with money, to sell them to me. It is unclear how this was missed when our salvage team was at the site. The intel is attached with the report. Okay, next. The Photent consists of 2 satellite Renaissance images from 1983. The first photo is from the Project End Station facility in Moscow, Poland, in the month of August. The second photo is from September and shows the facility surrounded by military convoy. It appears this convoy is Spetsnaz Group Omega from before, and this whole sentence is blanked out. While it is unfortunate that this intel was not recovered sooner, at least we've secured it now. It is a miracle that it has been kept out of the public eye. Okay, so now let's just go over 2 and 3 again very quickly. At the time of the breach, locals from nearby town had been witnessed scavenging materials at the site. So there was a breach, the satellite recon was down, they were witnessed scavenging materials at the site. A local boy, adolescent boy, teenage boy named Amit, he successfully recovered Photent from the satellite. I don't know what that is, but that's what he recovered. After he located the boy, after the person writing this located the boy, he was able to provide him monetary incentive. He didn't bribe him, he paid him for this thing that he picked up, and he sold it to him. The boy sold it to him. It's unclear how it was missed. How this thing that happened was missed when our salvage team was at the site. The intel is attached with this report, so it was unclear how they missed out on the intel. They received the intel now, and yeah. Next, they kind of break down what the phone is. It consists of 2 satellite Renaissance images from 1983. This is the documentation. This is the intel. The first photo is from Project End Station facility in Poland in the month of August. The second one's in September. It shows the facility surrounded by military convoy. It appears the convoy is Omega Group. And then from before when, that's blanked out. And while it's unfortunate that this intel has not been recovered sooner, at least we've secured it now. It is a miracle that this has been kept out of the public eye. So they have intel that has not been seen by the public. That's very important to them. It's been recovered from the breach. That's basically all you gotta know. And all that's good and well, but at the end of the day, that sounds like Satellite, and somebody even says to Chronicles. Okay, let's read this. Somebody even says to Chronicles, unfortunately, Angola could be referencing the MP map Satellite, which is canon to zombies, since Onslaught is canon. And Chronicles says the intel itself actually comes from the Onslaught stuff, from what I know. That one in particular is from Satellite, so it's definitely the most likely scenario. So this intel is from Satellite. The reason I say this is because there are definitely some unimportant Onslaught intels like Miami, Newtown Cartel, which are people telling their stories of the zombies experience. The Moscow ones, however, are quite different. We're going to talk about that in a second and talk a lot more about the Omega Group and that. The first one is the one from Moscow. That's what he put there in quotes or in parentheses. And he says there is also one listed under KGB that follows the story of a guy who lives in Berlin and an event that happens turning some guys into zombies. Samantha actually appears in the story as well. The normal zombies and Onslaught definitely take place in the same universe / time period and are tied to each other. Just a lot of the intels don't seem to be significant to the main mode. And basically, again, what all of this is saying, the first part, we're going to talk to you about Firebase Z in a second, which is going to most likely be DLC 1 for Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, but I know a lot of people are interested in Buried, so I wanted to get that out of the way first. Basically, what all this is saying is that this intel right here is most likely from Satellite. Onslaught is a game mode, is an extension of zombies, and it takes place on multiplayer maps. It references a literal down satellite in the middle of Angola, South Africa. The map Satellite is in Angola, South Africa. There is a down satellite in the map. map, although it is possible that this is referencing Buried. Most likely, especially since this is most likely pulled from the Onslaught game mode from the Satellite map. This intel is referencing Satellite, and it's just somebody's recollection. Recollection? Why can't I think of the word? It's just basically somebody's remembrance. I don't know why that's bothering me now that I can't remember the word. Recollection. Let's Google it. Nope, I spelled that wrong. Anyways, let's move it on. Like I said, we're not really this is not a scripted video. We're just going straight up. I'm just discussing this with you guys. I'm just talking to you. But anyways, this is somebody's remembrance of the events. It is just an account of what's going on. It's nothing too significant. It's just letting people know kind of what happened. It's not hinting necessarily towards a Buried remake in the future, most likely, unless Buried is somehow hidden underneath Satellite. Who knows? Maybe they pull something like that and Satellite's on top of Buried. I don't know how that would work, but who knows? Anyways, that's that's the Buried quote-unquote remake taken care of. Yes, I still do believe that Buried is going to be coming to Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War Zombies, but according to Chronicles, this is from Zombies Onslaught, this is from the Satellite map. This literally mentions a down satellite in Angola, South Africa, and although that's the location of Buried, that is exactly what Satellite MP map is. So with that, let's move into the next piece of intel, the most important one. So this is a report. KGB Spetsnaz Special Operation Group Omega, 17 November of the year 1983, Moscow. Author Dr. William Peck. Background: 16 August. Operation Undertaker is given formal approval to be carried out by Special Operations Group Omega. 1 November of 1983. Once again, this is Operation Undertaker is completed. Dimensional gateways open around the world, including one near the Hoang Ho district of Quang Tri province. Yeah, I definitely butchered that. Comma, Socialist Republic of Vietnam. So it's basically just saying there's a portal opened up, a dimensional gateway portal opened up near Socialist Republic of Vietnam. 8 November, Chairman Chebrikov comes to an agreement with Chairman Pham Van Dong to construct a KGB Spetsnaz Omega Group facility outside district capital Khe Sanh. 9 November, this is just one day later, approval is given for Operation Blank, this is blacked off, to be carried out by Special Operations Group Omega. So there's a new operation going on right now. 11 November, construction begins for Omega Group site near Khe Sanh. And we're going to talk about this location in a second. So mission status: Omega Group operation site secured near Khe Sanh on 11 November. So they have a new site secured. Cover story about recently discovered U.S. chemical weapons being accidentally detonated has successfully resonated throughout the community. Site construction has begun, with completion anticipated by 15 February. The Colonel has expressed interest in using the site to begin testing on blank. We don't know what they're testing on. Additionally, Operation Blank will focus on further testing with blank. Formal request to begin curating volunteers for experimentation has been submitted. Pending approval, expect our first full report before March. So basically what's going on here is Omega Group basically got approval for a site on November 11th, right? They secured a site near Khe Sanh, and they're going to be constructing it. They're going to be building it. It's expected to be finished by 15 February. And whatever they're doing in this operation, which is not titled or the title is not revealed, the results of it will be revealed by March of the following year, which would be March 1984. So I'm assuming that potentially this location, this map, will take place on in 1984, in February of 1984, and or maybe even March of 1984, right near the end of everything, where we complete the Easter egg, and that kind of leads to the next thing. But this is a letter from Moscow, and the reason why all this is important, and the reason this mentioned, or the reason why we're the reason why we're saying this is the Vietnam map, is if you actually look up Khe Sanh, you'll see something on the right hand side that says Khe Sanh is the district capital of Hoang Ho district, or whatever. That doesn't really matter. Quang Tri province, Vietnam. So that's the location. It's in Vietnam, located 63 kilometers west of Dong Ha. During the Vietnam War, this is a very important thing. During the Vietnam War, the Khe Sanh combat base was located to the north of the city. The Battle of Khe Sanh took place there. The Khe Sanh combat base is the museum where relics of the war are exhibited. So we have this base, the Khe Sanh combat base, in which most likely is going to be the zombies map, at least I believe. There's also some stuff, there's also a Firebase map in the campaign. I'm not sure if this is the same exact location, but there's also a campaign mission where we go to Firebase. People are assuming, or I don't know why my brain's broken today. People are speculating that this could be the next zombies map in DLC 1, in the Vietnam zombies map. But regardless, we know that there will be a Firebase zombies map coming. The Gaming Revolution reported on this very early, even before the life cycle of Black Ops Cold War, called Firebase Z. Whether that is the name of it once it is released, we'll have to wait and see. But this Firebase Z map, we now have our apparent location of it. It's going to be right around the Khesan area, and just north of Khesan, that's where the Battle of Khesan took place. There's a whole combat base there, and it's now a museum where relics of the war are exhibited. So obviously we're not going to be playing in the current day version where there's going to be relics of the war, but who knows? Maybe we actually do play in this area. Maybe we play in the combat base of Khesan. That's Firebase Z, and we go into the map, and maybe we have to use some of the relics for some of the Easter egg steps. And even they had mentioned that there's some chemical testing going on, right? Omega Group operation site secured near Khesan on 11 November. Cover story about recently discovered U.S. chemical weapon being accidentally detonated has successfully resonated throughout the community. So they're already talking about something being accidentally detonated, some chemical stuff going on. Whether or not that's in Khesan, I'm not really sure, but we got some weird stuff going on with this site in specific, and this is where Omega Group is apparently going to be stationed, or where they're going to be going, at least at this point in time. The base is going to be finished by 15 February 1984, and most likely, I'm assuming, that's where we'd be heading to for the Firebase Z Zombies map. So again, I don't know necessarily when this map is going to be released. None of us know when this map is going to be released, but what we can say is that it has been reported for a while now that there's going to be a Firebase Zombies map. We have a Firebase campaign mission, and now we have references in leaked intel that's not yet released, most likely coming with Season 1. I believe it's not released. That's what he had mentioned. Coming with Season 1 that mentions a Firebase Zombies map, that mentions Khesan at least, and would be the location of a Firebase, of a combat base for the Battle of Khesan. Another important thing to remember is that according to CallOfDutyFandom.com, we have Dia Machina. I don't actually know. I'm sure it says it in the game somewhere. But according to the website, it says Dia Machina takes place on November 13th, 1983. Approval for this base took place on November 11th. So basically, Omega Group got approval for this new project, for this new thing going on in the Firebase on November 11th, and then we have Dia Machina take place on November 13th. We had just discussed earlier in the video about gateways being opened up all around the world, and the main quest for Dia Machina, Seal the Deal, which involves Requiem closing off the rift opened at the Project End Station facility. So that was the Easter egg in Dia Machina. That was 2 days later, at least that's when the map takes place, November 13th, right? And now we have apparently Omega Group now doing their task this letter right here is 17 November of the year 1983. So it recaps some of the events that took place 16 August, 1 November, 8 November, 9 November, 11 November, right? And it's going on to say that by February 15th of 1984, the following year, there's going to be something going down with the Omega Group in a Firebase station close to or in Khesan. So this is directly following the events of Dia Machina. Well, it doesn't really reference Dia Machina, but it's after the events of Dia Machina. I think that's what we should say. And if there's something talking about the future, where there's something going on, right, there's going to be another operation going down, and it's after Dia Machina, we could assume that since there's no other intel referencing any other Zombies maps, that this would be DLC 1, and since it's so close to Dia Machina, sometimes we go 10 and 20 years between Zombies maps, or at least not chronologically, but just in between each release, DLC 1, 2, 3, right? That could be the case sometimes. Since that happens, and we're so close to each other from the end of Dia Machina, this pretty much overlaps to the writing of this letter and the beginning of the next operation, which is unnamed right now. We could assume, especially since Firebase Z has been leaked pre-launch and could have even been on this map for Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, we could assume that this will be DLC 1 for Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War Zombies. Will it 100% be a DLC 1 for Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War Zombies? No. We just really don't know yet. But at this point in time, with absolutely no information about the DLC or about the first DLC for Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, the fact that we have information being held from us, I don't mean that in a malicious way or a bad way, right? Just the fact that they're bringing this intel later on in the life cycle of Black Ops Cold War, meaning just the first season, it most likely was held back for a reason. This way we didn't necessarily know where we were going. We had the first map, and then with Season 1, we got this new update where we had new content to explore, a new Zombies game mode, and eventually we could come across this brand new intel and be like, okay, with Season 2 for Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War Zombies, this is where we're going. I'm pretty sure they're kind of doing this to kind of spread out the amount of content we have at launch and just over time. So opposed to releasing maybe, although it would have been great, right, if we had a few different Zombies maps at launch, high quality Zombies maps at launch, opposed to having a few different different maps at launch, or to dispersing a few different maps at launch. Maybe Firebase C wasn't ready yet, and we had the machine on launch. We had a really awesome launch map, and now we're going to have some game modes coming with Season 1. We're going to have some intel coming with Season 1. We're going to be able to enjoy that, and we're going to be able to speculate and get excited about, or at least it was supposed to be with the launch of Season 1 10 days from now, get excited about the future of Cold War Zombies, where we're going in DLC 1 with Season 2. However, some of this stuff was released a little bit early, but in my mind, that's pretty much how Treyarch had it going. They just wanted to hold off stuff. This way we had a consistent or a constant release or a flow of content. This way we can constantly keep our hype levels, not even like extremely high, but just kind of keep them a little bit more on the higher end of the curve. Instead of, for example, going from Shadows of Evil and the Giant to Horizon Drac 4 months later, or November to December to, I guess it was 2.5 months later, but you get my point. Sometimes we go a month, 2 months without any information at all, and I believe that Treyarch noticed, especially within Black Ops 4 Zombies, that was not a good idea. So now going to Cold War Zombies, although they didn't provide more than one map on launch, they're providing new modes with Season 1. Again, they're going to provide that new intel, and alongside that is basically the fact that they want to keep some kind of consistent flow of content for Zombies players to keep them engaged, to keep them interesting, to keep them interested, to keep them questioning what's going to happen next, and that is something that I like. Whether or not that actually is the case, I don't know, but if I had to put my best guess forward, geez, my brain is shot, that would be what my best guess would be. So that is it, my friends. Buried is not going to be coming to Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War Zombies right now. It doesn't seem like it's going to be coming with DLC 1. Most likely Firebase Z, the map reported by the Gaming Revolution over 2 months ago, is going to be the map coming as DLC 1 for Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War Zombies. So that's it, my friends. Make sure if you did enjoy the video, I know I may have rambled on a little bit too much, but I just wanted to make sure I had all grounds covered. Make sure if you did enjoy it that you drop it a thumbs up, as well as make sure you are subscribed for more videos like this, and to enjoy the absolute most elite Black Ops Cold War Zombies guides already on the channel for Dia Machina, and will be on the channel for DLC 1, whatever the map may be. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care of your meatballs.
I've been wishing for some better days. Could you listen? No, why can you stay?